So I was saying last time we talked about the topic coming out of comfort zone. And if you did not happen to hear that class, please try to hear that class. It's very, very important topic. So last time we discussed we have three aspects in our life which we need to balance. What are those three aspects? Family life, your work, and spiritual life. So these three are like a tripod. So if you have a tripod, a table with three legs, if one of the legs break, the table will not be able to stand stable. So same way in our life, we need to take care of these three aspects of our life: our family life, our profession, career. If there is a student, they need to take care of their studies, and then the third aspect is spiritual life. So today we are going to talk about specifically one of the leg, which is profession. What should be our attitude towards profession, our attitude towards our work? So first of all, we know there are four varnas and four ashram. Right, our Vedic system, the Vedic culture, it talks about varna and ashram. So there are four varna and four ashram. The four varnas are related to our profession, our material life, our professional life. And the four ashram, they are related to our spiritual progress, our spiritual life. What are these four varna? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So these are the four classifications for profession, for different type of profession. And four ashram are Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram and Sannyas ashram. Gradually progressing in spirituality. So the four varnas which talk about our professional life, the four profession is, it's not based on birth. First of all, this classification, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, is not based on birth. If somebody has that wrong conception, that misconception, that by birth somebody's caste is decided, by birth somebody's profession is decided. If somebody is born in a Brahmana family, by birth he's a Brahmana. If somebody is born in a Kshatriya family, by birth he's a Kshatriya. That's a misconception. For example, as a profession, if somebody's parents are doctor, a child is born in a doctor family, it doesn't mean by birth he becomes a doctor. He has a potential to become a doctor. If he go through proper training, he can also become a doctor. Somebody born in a lawyer family, by default doesn't become a lawyer. But he has a potential to become a lawyer. Again, by proper training. So same way somebody is born in a Brahmana family, yes, he has a potential to become a Brahmana by undergoing that rigorous training. Somebody born in a Kshatriya family, he has a potential to become a Kshatriya by going through that training. The same way somebody even born in a lower family who has a lower occupation, he can also qualify to become a Brahmana. He can also qualify to become a Kshatriya. So these four varnas, they are classification in profession. How many of you know Bharat Maharaj? Right, from scripture, we talk about Bharat Maharaj pastime very often, who had renounced everything. He went to forest, but then he got attached to a deer, and while giving up his life, he was remembering the deer, so he had to become a deer. So Bharat Maharaj, actually his father is Rishabdev. Rishabdev is also considered one of the incarnations of the Lord. Rishabdev had 100 sons. So Lord Rishabdev had 100 sons. And out of those 100 sons, 81 became Brahmanas. Lord Rishabdev is a Kshatriya, he is a king. Out of 100 sons, 81 became Brahmanas. 9 of them became very elevated Vaishnavas, very elevated devotees, Paramhamsas. And those 9 sons are known as Navayogendra. So in Bhagavatam, we hear about Navayogendras also, who gave a discourse to Nimi Maharaj. It comes in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So 81 became Brahmanas, 9 became Paramhamsas, and 10 became Kshatriyas. 10 took to the ruling of the kingdom. And out of those 10, the eldest one was Bharat Maharaj. So why I am telling this? This is an example from scripture. Rishabdev's son It's not that by default they become Kshatriyas. Some of them became Brahmanas, some of them became very elevated devotees, Paramhamsas, and some took to the role of Kshatriya. So, as a profession, it depends on the growth, the cultivation, what occupation somebody will choose. Now, we hear the pastime of Draupadi's wedding from Mahabharata. Everybody knows the pastime of Draupadi's wedding, how Draupadi got married. Draupadi was born from a yajna, from the yajna kund. So she was a very special girl, and Drupad, his father, he took a condition: whoever will shoot the arrow of the eye of the fish, not directly looking into the eye of the fish, but by looking in the reflection. So they have to look at the reflection of the fish, and that fish is moving also. So by looking at the reflection, they have to shoot the arrow in the eye of the fish. And that person, whoever is able to fulfill that condition, he will be able to marry Draupadi. So Drupad Maharaj had invited all the kings from all over the world. So even Duryodhana was there, Karna was there, many other kings were there. And the Pandavas at that time, they were living in exile. They were disguising themselves as Brahmanas. So some Brahmanas were going to this occasion of Draupadi's Swayamvar, and they told Pandavas who were living like Brahmanas that we are going there. So they also went. Now in that assembly, Krishna was also present, Krishna and Balram. They did not go to participate in that, but just to witness that, because Krishna was considering Draupadi as like his sister. So all the kings, Drupad Maharaj announced, right, to invite all the Kshatriyas, come forward and show your talent. So all the Kshatriyas, one by one, they came. They tried to shoot the eye of the fish, to pierce the eye of the fish, but nobody was able to do that. So when all the Kshatriyas failed, nobody was able to do, Drupad Maharaj announced, anybody else, if anybody else will like to accept the challenge, come forward and try. So now these Pandavas were sitting there in the assembly as Brahmanas. One of the Brahmana got up from his seat. Who is that? Arjuna. So Arjuna got up from his seat, he walked up front and he took the bow and arrow and he shoot and he pierced the eye of the fish. And all the Brahmanas who were assembled there, they become very joyous. So one among us also is very talented. One of the Brahmana is very talented in Kshatriya skills also. So they were taking their chadar, which they put on the shoulder, and they were doing, yay, one of us did that. So all the Brahmanas were very happy. All the Kshatriyas, they were upset that we are not able to do and one of the Brahmana is able to do. That's shame on us. So after that, there was a bhoj. They feeding everybody. Drupad Maharaj got a doubt. Drupad Maharaj was thinking that he looked like a Brahmana from his outer dress, but from his quality, the way he's walking, the way his shoulders are, he doesn't look like a Brahmana. So he wanted to test who are these 5 brothers who are looking like a Brahmana from outside, dressing like a Brahmana, but don't behave like a Brahmana. They don't appear to be Brahmana. So he arranged for some kind of examination, how to find out. So when everybody came back from the Priti Bhoj, after feeding, after taking the lunch, Drupad Maharaj in that room had put 4 tables and 4 different items on those tables. On one table there were some scriptures, some books were kept. On one table there were all different type of weapons were kept, swords, gada, bow and arrow and all that. And third table he had kept some different type of coins from all different countries. And fourth table he kept some food, clothing, all those type of food, all those type of items. So all these, when they came, these 5 brothers, the 5 Pandavas, directly went to the table with all the weapons. Bhima picked up the gada and he's looking at the gada. Arjuna picked up the bow and arrow. Nakul Sahdev picked up the swords. So they are looking at these weapons, and Drupad Maharaj confirmed they are not Brahmanas. From outside they appear to be Brahmana, but from their quality they are not Brahmanas, they are Kshatriyas. And later on eventually he came to know they are Pandavas only. Right? He is Arjuna who did that. So why I am telling these 2 references from scripture is, The varna, the profession, the occupation is based on our psychophysical nature. And Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnaya maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashah. I created these four divisions of society based on guna and karma. So mainly it's based on our psychophysical nature. What is your physique? And what is your nature? Mostly here in this world, we don't work based on our psychophysical nature. That is the problem. Right? The nature which we have acquired, we don't work based on that. Because the society has put some roadmap for us. They have put some expectation for us. Oh, you have born like this. If you want to be successful in life, you have to become either a doctor or an engineer or a CA. So you have to take this profession, this occupation, and then only your life is successful. The parameter to be successful is either a particular type of profession or how much money you make. So if you make more money, then you can be successful. Then you can be considered successful. And because everybody is running on that wrong track, that's why there is no satisfaction. There is no work satisfaction. We may say, yes, I love my job. Oh, I love the work I do. But is it really so? Because if you really love your work, you will do it no matter what. Even if you're not paid, you will be willing to do that. We are doing the work mostly for money. Money, money, money. Money is honey. Right? And that is a expectation by the society from everybody. When the child is born, parents stamp that child. Oh, you, we are going to make you doctor. Oh, you, we are going to make you engineer. Right? There is stamping done at the time of birth. But many people, when they get into their job, first job, especially very first job, many times they are not satisfied. And they quickly change to another job. Oh, this job I don't like. Maybe if I get another job, there I will find happiness. Then we want to switch to another job. Some people switch their occupation altogether. Somebody did the engineering degree as a mechanical engineering. Then they entered into some programming. Why? Why did you waste all 4 years of your study? You studied as a mechanical engineer, but now you want to work as a software engineer or a coding person. Why? Because there is more money in that. So ultimately there is no job satisfaction. Everybody is working like a rat race. Everybody is going into a rat race. But is there really that, okay, if you become only successful in a particular profession or earning particular amount of money, only then you will be happy? There are so many people who may have done a degree earlier from a very prestigious institute, maybe they from IIT or something, they did a engineering degree. After working few hours, they thought this is not satisfactory, and rather than that, maybe we want to do some agriculture business or some agriculture. Many people have left from USA, actually gone back to India and started organic farming. Because they did not find that satisfaction, that job satisfaction, because their nature is not fitting with that job. Their psychophysical nature is not allowing them. Somebody did a very nice degree, engineering degree from a prestigious institute. After that, he thought, my nature is more as a teacher. I find happiness in teaching. So rather than working in a company, better I will open a tutoring center, some coaching center, and maybe train students to help them clear the exam to get into some good college. So they took to that profession, even though they may be earning less money. Or sometimes people earn even more money actually. And they don't have to work that hard also, the way we are working 8-10 hours in the company. So job satisfaction, why people don't have job satisfaction? Because we are not choosing occupation based on our psychophysical nature. And also we are only focusing on one aspect of life, that's professional life. We are missing the spiritual aspect of life. Professional life and spiritual aspect of life, these are the two lines of the railway track. A train runs on two lines. If one line is not there, only one edge is there, the train will not run. For our life also to run smoothly, it needs those two lines, our professional line and the spiritual line. And most of the time, that's where people make mistake. They think, oh, this life first, let me get settled, let me make a lot of money. Spirituality is old age program, a retirement program. So here Krishna very clearly says Chaturvarnaya Mehasrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. These four division I have made based on nature acquired and the work they perform. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmana, what is the occupation of Brahmana? Brahmana something simply is not that somebody who is doing puja in temple. That's not just Brahmana. That is one of the activity of a Brahmana. But Brahmana, what is the duty of a Brahmana? Education, teaching. To learn the scripture, to teach the scripture, to guide the society. So there are so many qualities which a Brahmana need to acquire. He is learning and teaching, Pathan Pathan, Yajan Yajan, right? Performing yajnas, doing austerities, truthfulness, Shama Dama, control of senses, control of mind. So these are the qualities of a Brahmana. So Brahmana, one of the activity of Brahmana is teacher. Okay, T. Then Kshatriya, what is the activity of a Kshatriya? Who is considered as a Kshatriya? Warrior in general one sense we say one somebody is warrior. Kshatriya's job, see king, right? King's responsibility is to rule, administer. So the Kshatriya's responsibility is to do administration. One of the activity is to protect the citizen also. So that is also one of the activity. So war, to engage in war, to protect the citizen if some enemy attack, that is the job of a Kshatriya, like police department, of our army. That is also Kshatriya. But apart from that, administrator class, right? The leader who is setting some rules, who is governing the country, taking care of the citizen, that is also administrator. So in the company also, actually if we see, we have these four departments. This Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, these four classification are there everywhere. It's not that this is some Hindu system or Indian system. In every part of the world, you will see these four natural divisions. So Kshatriya's job is to rule, to administer, to protect. Kshatrayate iti Kshatriya. Who protect from harm. That is also responsibility of Kshatriya. Then Vaishya. Vaishya is trader, business class, who run business, who provide or cultivate land, agriculture. That is also Vaishya. To run or to cultivate land, agriculture, to run the business, shops. Basically, they develop economy. They create employment. That is a Vaishya. And then Shudra, it's actually the word Shudra is very demeaning word. Many people mistake that word Shudra, it is just trying to put others down. The actual word is artisan class, laborer class, right? Who does various type of labor. Somebody is making pots, somebody is making clothes, somebody is making something. So artisan class. So this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, teacher, administrator, trader, artisan. So how you remember that? Tata, T-A-T-A. Okay? Teacher, administrator, trader, artisan. And all these four categories have their qualities. See, Brahmana, as I said, Brahmana has to cultivate these qualities. Shama, Dama, Jayan, Yachan, Pathan, Pathan. Kshatriya, to protect others. Kshatriya's responsibility is to protect 5 type of people actually. Brahmanas, women, children, elderly people, cows. Especially these 5 category, they provide protection to these 5 who are considered as weaker class in physical nature. So Brahmana take risk. What type of risk Brahmana take? Brahmana's quality is actually, I'm talking about real Brahmana. These days you will not find any real Brahmana. The real Brahmana, their quality is they don't accept employment. Right? They just perform these activity of teaching others. Like earlier Gurukul system was there. Right? How was the Gurukul system? There was no set fee structure. That first you pay this much fees, then you are admitted into the school. So there is an education system is there. They provide education, but voluntarily whoever gives them donation, they will accept that. So they take risk of even next day meal. They don't know how we are going to eat next day. They just rely on whatever comes on its own accord, without begging, without asking from anybody. So they take risk of next day food also. They are dependent on the Lord. That Lord will make arrangement. They will inspire others in their heart to provide some donation in exchange of their service. Nowadays, we don't find any real Brahmanas, any pure Brahmanas who act on that principle. Right? The teachers also. We say teachers are in category of Brahmana, but teachers, it's like a business. So the school system, the education system, our schools, colleges, they are not running as Gurukul, as run by Brahmanas. They are running as a business. So the Vaishyas are running that as a business. Then Kshatriya, what risk Kshatriya take? Kshatriya take risk of his life. Right? When there is a danger, Kshatriya is ready to come in front and fight to protect others. So they take even risk of their life. Vaishyas, what risk Vaishya take?
Investment.
They take risk of wealth, risk of money, right? They want to invest. Sometimes people will invest millions dollar, right? Lakhs and lakhs of rupee. They will invest in something. They may completely lost also. They will completely lose. Sometimes they will make 1 crore into 100 crore also. But they take risk of investment. They are developing, they are building economy, but sometimes they will risk also. They may become completely beggars also. But Vaishyas, what risk does Vaishya take? No, sorry, Shudra. Artisan class, what risk do they take? No risk. They don't take any risk. Right? They think, let me work for somebody. At the end of the month, I get my salary. I'm satisfied with that. I want to very secure. I want to make arrangement for all sort of security. So I don't want to take any risk. Even if somebody is investing little bit, saving into saving account, and they want to be very protective. So there are these 4 category of people, 4 classifications in occupation: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, trader, teachers, administrator, trader, and artisan class. Now, what is the work system? How we are supposed to work? Brahmanas is considered like the head. So it's a complete social system, right? Social structure. It's like the body of the whole governing system. Brahmanas are considered like a head. Why? Because Brahmana are providing guidance. They use their ears and eyes to see the grievances of the society. They can smell if there is some grievance in the society. They can hear. By hearing, they understand, oh, somebody is not satisfied, somebody is not happy. So they hear the grievances of other, and through their might and with their intelligence, they provide that guidance. Right? That is the job of a teacher. That is the job of a Brahmana. So Brahmanas, that's why are considered like the head. Kshatriyas are considered like the arms, the shoulders, the arms of this governing body. Why? Because their job is to protect. If there any danger come on you, if some danger comes, something, if I throw something at you, immediately what will you do? What body part will act first? Hand. You will try to do something like this, right? You will try to either catch that object or try to protect yourself. So hands immediately come front to protect. So that's why Kshatriya is considered like the hands, the arms of that governing body. Vaishyas are considered like the belly of that governing body, because the Vaishyas, they create an economy system to take care of everybody, right? They provide for everybody. Like the administrator, they will take tax. And who is providing that tax? The Vaishyas, the worker class. So they are like the belly who are taking care of everybody other. And then the artisan class, they are like the leg of that governing body, because they provide support system for all 3. So that is like the governing body. That's a perfect social order created by Krishna to progress, to be happy by kind of living in harmony with each other, by supporting each other. In a company also, you'll see these 4 divisions. We have R&D department. What is R&D department? That's like Brahmana. We have accounting department or the HR department. That's what? administrator. Then we have the actual worker, or we have somebody who is investing, right? The accounting department. So we have R&D department, we have HR department, we have accounting department who is investing, who is taking care of all the investments, and then we have all the worker class. So that's why in Kali Yuga it said mostly people are in which category? In Shudra category, in artisan class, because we are just working for others. Our nature is that, okay, if I work for somebody, if I get my salary at the end of the month, I am happy. Let me just try to make as much as I can by working for somebody. So in Kali Yuga, most of the people actually fall in this category. That's why in scripture also there is a saying, Kalau Shudra Sambhava. Everybody is at the level of Shudra in Kali Yuga. Even though somebody may be working as a so-called Brahmana or a Kshatriya or Vaishya, but ultimately their nature is as Shudra only. But whatever it is, we are working in some profession. And how we should work? How we should work? That is our topic for today, to focus on that aspect. So first of all, we should remember that I am working, that is fine. I am working to maintain my family. I am working to make the livelihood, to make my household run. So I will work with my full capacity, with commitment, but at the same time I need to take care of my other responsibility as spiritual responsibility. Because I am working right now, that is fine, but if I continue just working, where will I end up? I will be just going around in this cycle only, in this material world only, through that suffering only. Ultimately, I want to come out of that suffering, so I need to take care of my spiritual aspect of life also. So while working, Krishna says how you should work so that you can come out of that bondage. We should work in such a way which can first of all bring us the real satisfaction. As of now, maybe I am into some occupation which is not matching my psychophysical nature. I have got into engineering, but my psychophysical nature does not allow me to be an engineer. My nature is more of as a teacher. So okay, I got into that, now I am working on that, but how do I find that satisfaction? So that satisfaction we can find in the spiritual lives also. If in our professional life we are not able to act based on our psychophysical nature, at least in our spiritual dimension, in spiritual aspect, spiritual life, we can act based on our psychophysical nature. I will give my example. Okay, so even though I studied engineering, my interest was more in teaching. So after doing engineering also, in India I worked for a couple of years in industry, but then I switched to teaching line. I went as a lecturer in engineering college, and I liked that because it kind of fit my nature. But again I came to USA for further study, for doing PhD, and again went into industry. But somehow with Krishna's arrangement, when I came into spiritual life, it's all Krishna's arrangement. Now what I am doing, again utilizing my teaching potential, right? Krishna is again giving me that opportunity to get back into that teaching line. So learning from scripture and sharing with others. What is that? As a teaching. So in spiritual life, we can fulfill our capacity, our interest based on our psychophysical nature. So in spiritual life, there is all sort of work to be done. There are need of Brahmanas, there is need of Kshatriyas, there is need of Vaishyas, there is need of artisan class. In spiritual life also, we can act in all based on different things. So we need to find our real interest and where we can find that satisfaction. Not just going based on the norms of the society. No, if you do only this, then you can become successful. Sometimes in spiritual life also, people come in spiritual life, but they want to act in a way which is against their psychophysical nature. They think, oh, I want to go on the altar, I want to touch the deities, I want to dress the deities, I want to just serve the deities. Again, it may not be fitting our psychophysical nature. So better is to do that thing which is really fitting your nature. Somebody may be okay just serving, right? Somebody may be just serving prashadam, serving some other thing, or cleaning the temple. Maybe that's what they find their best satisfaction. Somebody may find satisfaction in giving lecture and teaching others. So spiritual life can give us the potential to get that real satisfaction. In our professional life also, even though we are working, how should we work? What is the scriptural instruction? Krishna says how you should work. Just don't work like ass, right? Don't work like donkeys. That oh, I'm working day and night to make more and more money, to make my boss happy, to make one next level progress. That is not going to help us, or that is not going to give us real happiness in life. So how should we work? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Nityam kuru karma tvam karma gyayo hi akarmanah sharira yatrapi chate na pradishet akarmanah. So perform your prescribed duty, because doing that is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So Krishna is saying, yes, you work. Nowhere Krishna is saying that, oh, you just leave everything and go and become sannyasi. Krishna says, yes, you do your work, because working is better than not performing your duty. Because without work, one cannot even maintain his body. We have to eat, so we need to bring that all eatable stuff, so we need to work to get all that. So if somebody think, oh, I will just not even light the fire, I will not do anything, I will not work, that is not real sannyas. Krishna condemns that in Bhagavad Gita. One should not think, oh, I will renounce everything artificially, I will not do any activity, and I am a very top class transcendentalist. Krishna says, you do your work. You have to maintain yourself, so you do your work. But how to work? How should we work? So, how should we work is what is sanctioned by Krishna. First of all, we need to choose a profession, choose an occupation which is sanctioned activity. We are maintaining our life, we are maintaining our family. Yes, we have to work. Who is relieved from that responsibility of working? Krishna tells that also. Who is exempted from working, or working in material life basically, or going to work to make money? Who is exempted from that? Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 text 1. In that Krishna says, Anashritah karma phalam karyam karma karoti yah sasannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir chakriyah. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work, who work as is in, he is obligated, is in renounced order of life. And he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. So if somebody thinks that I can live without family, I can live without wife, I can live without children, I can live without making any money, I can live being completely dependent on Krishna, then yes, that person is working without any obligation. He is exempted from all this responsibility. But somebody who is in this life, or in this material condition life, we have to maintain family and children and everything. So one should work, but work as per which is sanctioned by Krishna. So somebody who is a completely renounced person living in temple as a brahmachari, he also has to work. It's not that just living in temple as a brahmachari, they are not doing any work.
They actually do more work.
Yeah, they are doing actually more work. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning till 9, 10 at night, they are continuously doing something or other. Right? They are serving the Lord, taking care of the temple, taking care of the deities, cleaning the temple, cooking for the Lord. They are studying the scripture and teaching to others. They are going on Harinam, distributing the holy name. They are going out and distributing the books for people to learn from the scripture. So they are engaged. They are working more than us. We work in a company 8-10 hours. They are working 15-16 hours a day. So coming to spiritual life, if somebody think, oh, I will join temple as a brahmachari, I will just live in temple, it's a very relaxed, enjoying life. That's a wrong conception. It's a very austere life. And Prabhupada said these temples are not for lazy people. These are not for lazy bombs. That somebody think, oh, I will have no responsibility, no family obligation, and I can just come and live here. Actually, you have to work hard. I will tell you one story. Once there was a drug mafia person, a drug dealer. So he was dealing with drugs and all, and once the police was behind him. So he was escaping from the police, and he ended up in a ISKCON temple. He was escaping, he was running from them and came and jumped across the wall and entered into the temple. He just came there and he saw devotees there doing, and he was trying to hide there basically. And some brahmachari pulled him, okay, Prabhu, come. So you have come to temple. So he took him, okay, so can you do this? Can you clean this? So because he wanted to escape from police, he just stayed there and he was just doing whatever he's asked to do. Then he said, can I live here? Can I just stay here? Okay, you can stay here, no problem. So next morning he's sleeping, 4 o'clock, somebody came and started waking up. Wake up. You need to go to Mangalarati. So, okay, woke up and going, first take shower. Put him under cold shower. So taking the shower, is going there. So 2 hours they are chanting, gave him the beads. Okay, chant now. 2 hours chanting. Then he's doing, okay, now Prashadam time. No, first Bhagavatam class. So first here 1 hour Bhagavatam class. So after hearing Bhagavatam, morning 9 o'clock. Now, okay, now you can take Prashad. So after Prashadam, now what? Now let's go Harinam. Let's go book distribution. Came back, okay, now let's do pot washing. So something or other till 9 o'clock at night, from morning 4 o'clock, he's fully exhausted, went to bed. Again, next morning, same routine started. 6 months he stayed like that. He is just going on and on with this, and he also started getting taste. Oh, this life is very wonderful. And because he is chanting, he is engaging in this service, his heart is becoming purified. And then he is hearing the classes. When hearing the classes, he is understanding this philosophy of one should not engage in these sinful activities. One should follow this 4 regulative principle. So he got little inspiration in the heart. He went to the temple president, told him, asked him, do you know who am I? When I came to the temple, you know who am I? That Prabhuji, actually I am a drug dealer. I came to the temple because I was escaping from people and cops are behind me. There is this much $1,000, $10,000 award on me. So this temple president said, Prabhu, now you know the philosophy, you know we should be avoiding this and we have to face our karmic reaction. So better you go and surrender. So you go and surrender yourself. So he went and surrendered to police. Now he was brought for a trial in front of the judge. The judge is asking, so what have you been doing for 6 months? I get up at 4 o'clock, then I take a cold shower bath, then I do dancing and jumping in front of the deities, then I do 2 hour chanting, then I attend 1 hour lecture, then I eat little breakfast and then I go for another service. So throughout the day he counted all his activities. And judge said, there's no punishment we can give. Whatever you are doing, that's a bigger punishment. So actually, for the outside people, it may appear as a punishment. Oh, you are doing so much, all these austerity. It appears as a punishment for a materialistic person. But the devotees, they are engaging in these activities, these spiritual activities, devotional activities. They are enjoying, they are feeling that ecstasy. So the police is not able to change the person, the law and order is not able to change the person, bring that real change in that, but the devotional service can bring that real change, can transform that person. So living in temple is not a lazy bomb. Right? It's a very austere life. They are doing more than us actually. So we are maintaining family. Yes, we need to do our work. But in what consciousness we should do our work? By following the 2 tracks of that railway line, that okay, I need to maintain my family life for which I am working, but I need to take care of my spiritual responsibility. And whatever work I am doing, I will do that work, whatever is sanctioned by Krishna, which is not breaking any regulative principle. No meat eating, no illicit relation, no intoxication, no gambling. I don't want to engage in any profession which breaks these regulative principles. So I will do my work with full honesty, with full commitment, determination. I will engage in my work with commitment. It's not that I go to work, I join a job, but I don't go there till 11 o'clock and at 4 o'clock I come out. I don't do my work properly, because that will give bad name to devotees also. Right? If they know, okay, you are a Krishna Bhakta, Krishna devotee, but you are a very irresponsible person. So that give a bad name to devotees also. So we do our best. Okay, 8 o'clock, 8 hour in the day, it's your work time. Give your best in work also. But don't get into a rat race that, oh, I want to work 12 hours, 14 hours so I can grow in my career so much. I become a leader, I become a top in the company, this, that. That becomes like, what is that? Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Instruction, actually that's a over-endeavoring for materialistic life, for pujala pratishtha, for some title, for some money, for some name and fame. We are doing enough which can help us maintain our life. Especially I have seen in USA, people come from India, one person is working, husband is working. Sometimes wife feel, oh, I should also work, I also want to work. So we have double income. So we can earn more. But is it really needed? If somebody can maintain their life very decently in one income, why to artificially create that need? Simplify your life. If somebody is making 300,000, 500,000 as double income, they expand their needs also accordingly. Somebody can live in 50,000 also very decently, and somebody with 300,000 also, they will create their artificial need. That 300,000 is also very less. So we can simplify our life. It's not that artificially we have to burden our life. Many times what we are doing is self-imposed responsibilities. It's not that we have to do that, but we have chosen for ourselves. Right? It's a self-imposed responsibility. We are carrying the burden. Like a donkey may be carrying the burden of a sandalwood. He may be carrying 100 kg sandalwood on his back. But for a donkey, it's just a burden. He doesn't really understand the value of the sandalwood. The same way in life, we are just carrying the burden, not understanding the value of this human form of life. That the real purpose of human form of life for spiritual progress. So even though we are working, that's fine, do your work, but in what consciousness? Krishna says, Mam anusmara yuddhacha. To Arjuna, Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha mai arpito mano buddhir mam evashyasi samshayah. So, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, in all situation, in all time, remember always me. You do your work by always remembering me. What is Arjuna's duty? Krishna did not tell Arjuna that, okay, now I will take care of everything, you can sleep on the chariot. But Krishna told Arjuna that you have to fight. You are a Kshatriya, you are a warrior, you need to do your duty, but do in which consciousness? You fight by always remembering me. You do your duty by always remembering me. Surrender your intelligence unto me. Mai arpita mano buddhir. You surrender your mind and intelligence to me. In full consciousness of me, you do your activity. So Arjuna is also fighting, Duryodhana is also fighting. They are all both doing their duty of fighting. But what is the difference in both of them? Arjuna was following whatever Krishna is asking him to do. Arjuna is fighting to satisfy Krishna. Duryodhana is fighting for his sense enjoyment, for himself. So what does Krishna say? Mam anusmara yuddhacha. Do your duty by remembering me. So in our professional life, in our career, yes, we can do our job, we can do our business, we can do our occupation, but we should always remember Krishna. Surrender our intelligence unto Krishna. So working for Krishna, and by giving the result of our activity to Krishna. मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि संन्यास अध्यात्म चेतसा निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा युगतस्वः विगतः ज्वरा युद्धस्वः विगतः ज्वरा. Here also, this is shloka from third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga. What does Krishna say? How you should do your activity? Mai sarvani karmani. Sannyas adhyatma chetasa. Surrender the result of your activity unto me. So surrender the result of your activity to Krishna. But in what consciousness? Krishna is not saying just surrender the result of your activity, but in a devotional attitude. Sannyas adhyatma chetasa. Adhyatma chetasa is, chetasa means your consciousness. Adhyatma means spiritual consciousness. So with spiritually consciousness, with that divine consciousness, surrender the result of your work unto me. Give up the attitude of doership. Don't think that I did that, because of me, this project is successful, because of this, I am a big shot and I made this happen. So give up that doership mentality. Give up the controllership mentality that I earned $100,000. Now I am the owner of that. I want to enjoy the result of that. So give up the doership mentality, give up the controllership and proprietorship mentality and enjoyer mentality. So how we should work? By always remembering Krishna, by surrendering the result of our activity to Krishna. So I will give you a very basic tip to remember. So first of all, who are we? We are spirit soul, we are servant of Krishna. Right? So if we understand that, then understanding that, okay, who am I? I am servant of Krishna. Then how you work? Who are we? Krishna servant, Krishna Das. What do? I do my profession with determination, with enthusiasm, with full responsibility. And I surrender the result to Krishna. With loving attitude, yes. So I do the work which is sanctioned by Krishna. I am Krishna Das, and what you do? I perform my profession, my occupation, which is sanctioned by Krishna. That is very important, right? Which is sanctioned by Krishna. Then, after that, how do you do your work? I do my work with commitment, with determination, enthusiasm, but by remembering Krishna. And after you do your work, what you do with the result? Surrender the result to Krishna. So if you are making $5,000 a month, giving a portion of that to Krishna as a result, giving some charity, some donation to Krishna for his service, for the devotees who are engaging in Krishna service, for propagating these teachings of Krishna. So we should cultivate that attitude of donation, of giving charity. Giving charity is a very important attribute of our character. Scripture says at 10% of our income we should reserve for serving Krishna as a grahastha. And Yudhishthira Maharaj also asked this question to Narad Muni: what is the duty of a grahastha? What kind of things Narad Muni teaches in the grahastha ashram, in that one thing is that, okay, you do your work, you earn income, you maintain your life, your family, but you should do charity. You should donate some part of your income in service of Krishna, in service of other people. And a grahastha, actually our responsibility is to feed others also. What scripture says? Before we take our meal, a grahastha should go on the street and call out, is there anybody hungry? Please come take food. That is the system. Here we cannot do that. Here you cannot even feed the chapati to neighbor's dog also. But that is the system of grahastha. So at least what we can do is give a portion of our income for a purpose that, okay, in temple we are giving charity, which will be served, which will be used to feed devotees. Right? On Sundays we have Sunday feast program where we cook for whatever 200, 300 people come. They are served prasadam. So we can donate. That particular Sunday I want to sponsor that feast, which will be used, which will be helped to serve the devotees, to feed all the devotees whoever come. So giving a portion of our income in charity. Scripture says 10%. At least we should consider 10%. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they go to the level of 50%. So if somebody is earning $5,000 a month, monthly contributing $50, $100, up to even $500 is not a big deal. So we should have a separate account where we put a amount that, okay, this is for this purpose. So we act in this way. Who are you? Okay, let's revise. Okay, everybody say, who are you? I'm Krishna Das, Krishna servant. What do you do? So I work for Krishna. I work whatever is sanctioned by Krishna without breaking the four regulative principle. How do you work? By remembering Krishna without the attitude of proprietorship, controllership, enjoyer mentality. What do you do with the result of your work? I surrender the result of my work to Krishna. Then what happens is, yes, earlier we are working the sanctioned work. Now our work becomes sanctified work. Yes, so earlier, yes, I am engaging in sanctioned work, but the result of my work is sanctified when I surrender to Krishna. So sanction and sanctify, we need to do both. Sanctify the result of your work. In that way, then you will not be bound in this world. So otherwise, whatever work you are doing, there is some sinful activity involved. No matter how cleanly you are doing your work, there is some sin involved. If we are working in a company, maybe making cars, but in that, how the owner is bringing that money to invest, how they are paying you, you don't know. From where that is coming, what kind of sin is involved there. Maybe they are investing in some gambling, from where they are bringing the money and paying you your salary. So there is a sin involved everywhere, and we need to sanctify our income. Whatever work we do, even somebody is doing a household work, somebody is cooking the food, you are walking on the road, you are driving your car, you are fetching the water, everywhere sin is involved. You are walking on the road, you are driving your car on the road, how many insects are getting killed under your car, under the tires of your car? When you are walking on the streets, how many ants or something are getting killed under your feet? So everywhere, whatever you do in this world, we are tainted by that black spot. So we need to purify ourselves from the contamination, and that can happen only when we surrender the result of our work to Krishna, and on top of that, when we engage in service of Krishna. You know, what is the difference in Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga?
Doing my work is karma yoga.
Okay, so when you do your work, but you surrender the part of the result of your work to Krishna, that is Karma Yoga. Yes, I am doing the work what I like, but I am giving the portion of result to Krishna. I am doing my work by remembering Krishna. I am giving the result to Krishna, so that is Karma Yoga. What is Bhakti Yoga?
Everything about Krishna's
I do work for Krishna. Right? Whatever work is directly related to Krishna. Whatever work is directly asked by Krishna. So that is Bhakti Yoga. Like giving this message of Krishna to others. What is that? That is Bhakti Yoga. We are working for Krishna. So we need to bring our life on the two tracks of the railway, both parallelly going together, our professional life and spiritual life. And in spiritual life also there are two aspects actually. Right? What are the two aspects of our spiritual life? We have our morning sadhana. So we have our personal sadhana. Somebody is doing morning, somebody is doing afternoon or evening, that's okay. But our personal sadhana, that is first delivering ourselves. Janam sarthak kari. Right? We need to make our life successful. Then the second portion of spiritual life is paropkar. To help others. That is preaching. So that is the two aspects of our spiritual life. One is our personal sadhana. Second is the preaching aspect, to deliver others, to do propkar on others. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is what he teaches. भारत भूमि ते होइले मनुष्य जन्म जार जन्म सार्थक करी करो प्रोपकार. Two things are there. You make your life successful, that is our personal sadhana. You do propkar on others, that is our preaching activity. So we can engage in preaching activity. Everybody can engage in preaching activity. How? Preaching is not just sitting here and giving class, that is preaching. We can all engage in preaching activity by distributing book, by giving spiritual book to somebody. By helping in the program is also preaching activity. That's why I keep telling this message to make everybody understand actually what is preaching. These are the two aspects of our spiritual life. Personal sadhana and preaching. That's why Guru Maharaj, he will tell everybody, please engage in preaching activity. Help others in preaching activity. That is also preaching. So, finally coming to the conclusion here, how we should act, we need to understand that, and understanding the difference in a materialistic person going to work versus a devotee going to work. We also work in company, we also work in our professional life. So when a devotee goes to work or a non-devotee goes to work, what is the difference? From external viewpoint, they both look similar. Oh, he is also doing same activity in office, he is also working. What is the difference?
I think devotee will be more happier.
So devotee will be more happier. Yes. How he becomes happy? That satisfaction. That whatever I am working for Krishna. So when we bring that element in our work, then you can start to derive that satisfaction. So I am working for Krishna, I am working for pleasure of Krishna, I am working to maintain my family, which is a gift of Krishna. So I am working as a gardener. Right? I am working to take care of them. As a gardener, take care of the garden. And a non-devotee, how he is working, his whole consciousness is his personal enjoyment. Right? His sense enjoyment. He works with a worship mentality, controllership mentality. And he wants to enjoy the result of his work by himself. So that is the difference in a consciousness of a materialistic person working versus a devotee working. So if we understand that concept, that portion of our life, then even you engage in your professional life also, you work with full enthusiasm, determination. Okay, 8 hours I will put my best 8 hours in my work. But I don't want to spend too much time also in work. I don't want to get completely bombarded with that I don't have time for anything else also. Then you don't have time for family, wife is not happy, children are not happy. Then you don't have time for spiritual life. You don't come to satsang program. Then the devotees become little anxious, why this person is not coming. Then they will call, Prabhuji, what happened, why you are not coming, please come. So that's why try to balance. Don't work too over. Don't complicate your life. Don't complicate your life. Otherwise, sometimes we come to the spiritual life. After that, again, our desires come. Oh, I want to go. I also want to work. As I was giving, right? Sometimes Mataji get that desire. Oh, I also want to find a job. I also want to work. It is, how it is. What is the example? How the comparison is? It is like once a woman, very old lady. She was a very poor and she used to go to the forest to collect the dry wood. And she will come, bring that pile of dry wood and sell to make money to make her livelihood. So once she was gone to the forest, she is very old now. She made a pile of dry wood and she is keeping on her head and bringing. While coming back, her foot strikes something. She kind of क्या बोलते उसको अटक गई क्या बोलते उसको but how will you say
Which language?
English how will you say that
She got stuck with something.
yeah and she fell down so the pile of wood fell down and she is praying oh my God please help me and God appeared in front of her what do you want. And what did she ask? She could have asked anything. God is there in front of you. You can ask anything to the God. What did she say? Please help me pick that burden and put it back on my head. So that is what our situation is. We are engaging in spiritual life, then in front of Lord you go, please help me find a job, I am bored sitting at home, let me also do some job, let me also find some work. What is that? We are trying to put a burden back on us. See, if a choice given to everybody, you will like to stay home. If you had an option, you will like to stay home. If you don't have any burden of earning money or something, how many of you will really like to go to work if you were given a choice? He loves his job very much.
I think somebody when they lose job, I think Krishna become more upset than the devotee.
Yes.
Because Krishna thinks what this guy is going to do now. He's not going to do anything now.
So, because they will be wasting time, they will be spending all their time in just thinking and thinking and thinking, daydreaming. So, given a choice, actually, we will like to be free and enjoy life. And how to enjoy life, people don't know. Real enjoyment is not in all this material aspect. No matter how much you do. Prahlad Maharaj say actually, in the prayers, when Nrsimhadev asked Prahlad Maharaj, ask me any boon. Say, I don't want any of the thing of material enjoyment. I have seen people enjoying and suffering. All this enjoyment brings suffering only. I don't want any opulence, I don't want any power, I don't want higher birth. I have seen all sort of people. My father was very opulent, my father was very powerful. But what happened? You came and ripped apart him. In 1 minute, he's done, finished. So I don't want all this material enjoyment. I am afraid of this material enjoyment actually, because our senses, they are like 6 wives. Senses are like wives and they are struggling, they are fighting with each other, they are making us more bound in this material world. So I don't want that. Our real happiness is, please engage me in your service. So we should find that real satisfaction, real happiness in devotional life, in spiritual ecstasy. So don't complicate your life, try to keep it simple. I can tell a few other stories, but it's getting late. So I will stop here. So thank you very much. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. If anybody has any question or comment.
Recording is off.
No. Any question, comment?
Yeah, that story what you mentioned, that story starts, the Krishna procession was going on. Basically they are chanting and all going. And then that guy, that drug dealer guy, he merged with them. So that he can hide from them.
No, there are multiple stories. There are multiple stories like that.
That is how he entered the temple.
Hmm.
And then there was another part in the story. In the morning, first day chanting, he was sitting with everybody sitting around.
They are thinking, what is this? Everybody showing the pistol.
There everybody standing like that, and he was not knowing what to do. He was looking around, and everybody is pointing him. And
So he is also-
scared, oh, probably I have to also chanting. Then he started chanting.
Everybody is pointing at me. Maybe they know who am I. They found out who am I. They are everybody pointing at me. This guy is
This guy is not chanting.
yeah.
That part was there.
The remaining hand is in back, lead back, right?
Yeah.
So he's doing
So another question, see, now you said that people earn and they should give,
Speak little louder.
people will earn money and give it to Krishna. So naturally people may have this thinking, I earn, why should I give?
Hmm.
So for benefit of everybody, how do you explain that?
So
I am earning, why should I give?
Right.
When I ask these questions, I should have a reasonable logic
Hmm.
to convince myself to give, right?
Right.
Otherwise you will hear but you will not do it.
Right. Right.
How do you explain?
Okay. Very good question. Because sometimes people may think. I will explain in 2 ways actually. One more part of this question. It lead to one more question actually. First of all, somebody say I am earning and I am using that money whatever way I want. I can enjoy, right? I can I am earning my money, I can drink also, I can eat whatever I want, I can utilize my money anyway, it's my money. And why should I give it to Krishna? This is my hard earned money, my labor. First of all, we should understand whatever ability we have to earn the income, whatever physical strength, whatever intelligence, that is coming from Krishna. On ourself, we cannot even, if Krishna doesn't give you the strength, you cannot lift a finger also. The people, they may be very powerful, next day they may become a vegetable. They may go into coma, they're one, Krishna just turn one nerve in your body, you are gone, finished. So all the physical ability coming from Krishna, all our intelligence coming from Krishna, with which we are able to do our work. So all the facilities are given by Krishna. That's why we should give the portion of result to Krishna as our gratitude that, oh, thank you very much, you are giving me this ability to work.
How we are doing the income tax, so we can think that I am earning, why should I give the income tax? Then how the government runs?
And it's the same thing, because you are paying the way government is providing all the facility. They are building the roads, they are providing all other facilities, so for which they are taking portion of your income as income tax. The same way, portion of our income as a tax to the supreme government.
So on this question,
And Krishna says actually this in Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, there are verses that all the Devi Devatas, they are giving all the necessities of life and we should in return provide to them, offer it to them.